Hi, this is Sandra Wheatley, SVP of Fortinet, and today I'm joined by my colleague, Renee Tarun, who is Deputy CISO at Fortinet. Hi, Renee.
Hi, Sandra. Thanks for having me.
It's great to see you, and this is very exciting. We're here to talk about your new book, Fighting with Fire. And I was wondering if we could start off by getting an overview of what the book is about.
Sure. The book is actually focused for cyber leaders of today, focusing on what proactive strategies they can do. As we all know, the attack surface is expanding. We've got more connected devices, as well as the fact that, that sophisticated adversaries have really upped their game, especially over the last year. So attacks are becoming more frequent, more damaging, more prevalent. And so the book is really kind of gives some strategies for cyber leaders. So what they can do to kind of be more proactive. And the title, Fight Fire with Fire, really lends to the idea that, adversaries are using sophisticated techniques like automation and artificial intelligence. And so some of those proactive strategies that, cyber leaders can use in the defensive side also includes automation and AI. And so the book details the things from a people's process and technology perspective that organizations can do to help better prepare and defend themselves. And it comes from industry expertise from all walks of life, all different types of backgrounds, all different industries that have collective years of experience, whether that's in the private sector or the government.
Great. I know the feedback so far has been very positive on the book. I've heard a lot of great things. What inspired you to write the book?
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, again, it does feel like, in cyber leaders, we are constantly putting out, cyber fires. And, looking at how sophisticated, the adversary has gotten and looking at, traditionally, different cyber criminals and groups, traditionally they were geographically dispersed. But the one thing the internet has done has allowed them to work together and collaborate. And so from my perspective, we need to be doing everything we can to stay one step ahead of the adversary. And so we as cyber leaders really need to be working together, and we need different perspectives. The book covers different types of women, whether that's our people that are analysts, chief risk officers, CISOs, even venture capitalists. And so it gives you different perspectives on how you can tackle some of these major problems and challenges that, CISOs and other cyber leaders are being faced with today.
You kind of touched on this, and one of the things that really intrigued me about the book is that it was written by yourself and all female contributors, and all of them in their own right experts in the industry, but in an industry that really lacks female leadership. And I know it's improving, but it's still an issue. Can you kind of share some of your thoughts on why this is special for our readers and why it's so impactful?
Right. So from my perspective, people need to understand that there are, women, cyber leaders, IT leaders, in the field. We do exist. We're not unicorns. And so one of the things this book brings to light is because all of the contributors, their biography is included in the book. And it can really hopefully use that to inspire the next generation and women and minorities to get into the field of cyber. Because again, those bios really share the fact that not everybody took the same path to get into cyber. Some started in finance or accounting and then found their way into cybersecurity. And so hopefully the idea is that it can help inspire more women and minorities to get into the STEM fields.
The cyber skills gap is a big issue, and Fortinet, through its TAA initiative, is very heavily focused on reducing the skills gap. And I know you and I have had lots of conversations about this in the past, but we know today that women make up about 20% of the people employed in cybersecurity. What are your views on diversity and how it can help close the skills gap?
Well, first of all, Sandra, like you and I talked about, we have a huge skills gap in the cyber field. We have more positions than we have people to fill those positions. And I think what the diversity piece is, it allows you to bring in more people and be more attractive into the cyberspace. Myself being a leader that's formed, several, high performing teams over the years, one of the things that I really look to attract and retain is that diverse workforce. Because when you're dealing with diverse employees and not having that cookie cutter, backgrounds and mentalities, when you're dealing with diverse groups of people, they come in with very different perspectives. And that can be very beneficial for when you're planning and executing the business strategy. And not to mention, when you're dealing with projects and you're trying to solve a problem, it really helps increase the creativity. It creates a melting pot of fresh and new ideas. And also statistics say that, organizations and companies that have a more inclusive workforce, they're about 1.7 times more likely to be innovative leaders in their market. And so, having diverse teams, they've been known to outperform individual decision makers up to by 87%. And it also helps with better, hiring and retaining employees because, 60% of job seekers, they want to be employed with a diverse workforce because that's important to them at one of the things that they want to do, work for a company.
They're all great points. And, as I'm talking to, young students and trying to encourage them to look at cybersecurity, I've recently learned some interesting data about, more women are coming into the industry. They're a lot more qualified than some of their male peers, and they tend to focus on more certifications, etc. I don't want to generalize, but there's some of the trends we're seeing. So I think it's really important, and I think this book can really help to shine a light on that. But in terms of some of the key takeaways for readers, you talked about this a little bit, but what would you say are maybe one or two of the key takeaways that readers can really look forward to in terms of the book itself?
Yeah, first and foremost, I think it brings to light that there is really no silver bullet for solving all your cybersecurity challenges. It really takes that three-pronged approach. So you really need your people, processes, and technology. You can have some of the best technologies in the world, but they can be circumvented, by humans, especially with, misconfigurations or human errors. So the books are actually going to provide you, perspective in each of that area. So think from a people perspective, kind of like what we've been talking about. How do you build that diverse workforce? How do you talk to your board and share with them like the risks that we're seeing and being faced? From a process, we've seen a lot of attacks right now focusing on the supply chain. What are some of those best practices for doing supply chain security? How are we ensuring we're doing secure development in our technologies? And then from a technology perspective, how are you ensuring that end-to-end security? Because again, there's so much we have to protect when it comes to our data and networks. How do you provide that end-to-end security from a technology perspective?
Excellent. I think one of the things I really loved about the book was the really holistic approach it took. And as you said, it covers all of the aspects in terms of security and the business. Very importantly, how can readers access the book?
It's available through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, but there's also a landing page at Fortinet.com that you can also access that book.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Renee, for your time. Congratulations again to you and to all of the contributors. And this was a fantastic effort. And we look forward to hearing more about it. Thank you.
Thanks, Sandra.
Take care.